school. I am your science teacher. We are learning chapter 6, tissues. Okay, now we started with this chapter. Let me reframe a little. Now we learned what is a tissue, right? But before that we learned what is cell. So we saw that there are organisms which are single cellular organism, and there are organisms which are multicellular. Now amoeba is one of the example of a single cellular organisms, and each cell performs some different functions. But in human beings it is not that simple. We have different cells for different functions. Muscle cells are there, nerve cells are there, right? So many cells are there. Thus we say, what is a tissue? It is a group of cells that are similar in structure and work together to achieve a particular function forms a tissue. A group of cells that are similar in structure. So definitely when similar structure cells group together and they work together to achieve a particular function, we call it as a tissue. Then we saw, are plants and animals are same type of tissue? No, because they both functions are different. Plants are immobile, basically they are stationary or fixed. So they have that type of tissue that has supportive tissue. Supportive tissues are mainly dead tissues, dead cells. Animals are mobile, basically they move from one place to another, so they have different types of tissue. So next what we are going to see, the plant tissues get classified into two, meristematic tissue and permanent tissue. So what did I say? Plant tissue are classified into two, meristematic tissue and permanent tissue, right? So first we are going to see is the plant tissue, meristematic tissue, right? So basically they have did an example. In this example they have taken two onions, right, bulbs, and places in one jar as shown in figure. Observe the roots. You have seen the roots is getting longer and longer day by day, right? You can measure the length of the roots on day 1, day 2, day 3, right? Likewise. So basically these roots are increasing in the size, means the tissues are multiplying, the cells are multiplying, right? So cells of a meristematic tissue are active, right? Are active. Meristematic tissue are active. They have dense cytoplasm, they have thin cell walls, cellulose walls, and the prominent nuclei, means the nuclei is proper developed, but they have lack vacuoles. Now do you know why do they lack vacuoles? See, vacuoles stop the cell to get divided. See, those cells get divided. How can they increase the size? They will divide the cells. The cells get divided, so the tissues will multiply and the length or size will grow, right? But if the vacuole is there, it will stop it to multiply. So that is the reason they do not have vacuoles. And even the vacuole, what do vacuoles do? It will store the nutrients into it, which is not required. Okay. Then we saw that the growth of the plant occur only in certain specific region, right? This is because of dividing tissue known as meristematic tissue. So you know the plant is growing, right? The plant is increasing in the height, increasing the size, even the roots are increasing, the flowers get developed, and the leaves are getting bigger in size. All this are multiplying and increasing. This is all because of meristematic tissue, exactly. The growth of plants occur in a certain specific region. It is because of meristematic tissue. It depends upon where it is located. Depending on the region where they are present, meristematic tissue. So now again meristematic tissue is divided into three. Which one? Apical, lateral, and intercalary. Apical. Can you see? Apical is there on the root, on the top of it. Intercalary and lateral. Now let me explain you one by one. Now new cells produced by meristematic stem are generally likely those of meristematic itself. So basically new cells are not different from the original cell, they are same only, but as they grow they become mature, and the characteristics will slowly change and become differentiated. Again I repeat, when a new cell develop, they are same only. Slowly it will grow and change its characteristics and it become differentiated, right? For example, this one. Now see, where does an apical meristem is present? Apical meristem is present at the growing tip of the stem and root. So, roots and stem get developed because of which tissue? Meristematic tissue, apical meristem, right? Meristematic tissue in that apical meristem. Girth means, you know, the stem is getting bigger in size. The girth of the stem or root increases, right? See, longer, if it is getting longer, it is because of meristematical stem, but it's become thicker, right? Then it is because of which meristem? Lateral meristem. So, girth will increase because of lateral meristem. And have you seen it is getting branches, nodes get divide. At that place, which tissue you will get? Intercellary meristem. So, did you understand? Each meristem has a different function. Clear? So, I hope you understand what I am trying to say. We learned today is a meristematic tissue. Meristematic tissue, right? See, plant tissue is divided into two: meristematic tissue and permanent tissue. Meristematic tissue again is divided into three: apical meristem, intercellary and lateral. Apical you found at the top of stem and root. So, the stem will grow or the root will grow because of apical meristem. Slowly it will change. Intercellary you will find out it will increase the size of girth. Basically, it will increase the diameter or girth of root and stem. And where the nodes are there, right, cuts, it gives divide branches. At that time you feel intercalary tissue. Right. So, hope you are getting what I am trying to say about meristematic tissue. Now, the next topic tomorrow we are going to learn is a permanent tissue. Fine. Thank you so much. That's it for today.